how to start a mapping channel. So I have 232 subscribers. I've been mapping for almost 2 years. My first video was released almost 2 years ago, but I've been mapping for like 2 years plus. So this is it's gonna save you a lot of time. I'm gonna be saying everything I learned throughout the years and some mistakes I still make, but like you shouldn't. For example, I think you can guess some things that I shouldn't be doing on this channel necessarily. So here's some tips. This video is going to have like how to start your channel, how to create your first video, how to map in general, and some useful tips and tricks. So first, creating your channel. If you don't already have a channel, you'll want to create one. I'm not going to do that in this video, but enter mapping. That's what I chose for my username, and that's what I've been using for a long time now. You will want to choose a username that fits you, that you like. It shouldn't be forced on you, shouldn't be any of that. And your tag has to obviously relate to it. Ender mapping was taken, so I just chose ender14667, aka my it was my Minecraft username until I changed it. Now it's like I use it a lot, but like, you know. And then you also want to have a recognizable profile picture. You usually do not want it to be like something that you could get mixed up with other people for. It has to be recognizable. It has to be you. It has to represent you. For example, Theodulian Mapping, Lucky Ermine, two very recognizable profile pictures. And for more famous YouTubers, SB, Dream, you'd obviously recognize them. If you watch the channels, I mean. So you'll also want to not really make videos that don't relate to the channel. I just can't help myself from making Forsaken videos, to be honest. It's just ingrained in me, but you will not want to do that. Just a tip. I know I don't follow that, but like hypocrisy, you know. And then this also, I should have posted this on my other channel, my linguistics channel, but like, you know, you can post like map showcases or like other things related to geography like this, but you'll mainly want to stick with to mapping. Like this also, I should not have posted this here. You know, all this sort of stuff. This, you know, a lot of these, if you go far enough back, it's before I had other channels and it was just this channel, so I was just using it for anything. You know, like back when this was also Ender14627, but then I changed it to Ender Mapping once this became like a solely mapping channel, as you can see like around here. So that's mostly it for the video making, and this is how to start your first video. So you'll want an idea. Right now, I'm not creating a whole like fleshed out idea since this is a tutorial. So I'm just gonna name my project. Always name your project. Tutorial. So that's the name of the series. If it's not a series, just name the episode. And if it's a series, tutorial. Tutorial. This is like the naming thing that works for me. I only make series, so series name, episode number. So what you want to start with is make a new sprite. I always set this to 0, 0, or else things are going to get annoying very quickly. For me, I've been mapping for a long time. I have a lot of presets in here, but you probably don't. So here's what you want to start with. If you want it to be easy, like if you want to do easy code, but it's like choppy and it's not like clean transitions between the slides, then just when green flag clicked, switch costume to costume 1. When space key clicked, next costume. But if you want a cleaner, smoother transition, I'll probably do another tutorial on that later. But for now, I'm just going to go with this. It's good enough for your start. You don't really need clean transitions, smooth transitions. I actually don't for some of my videos, because it's just a lot easier to do like this, and the other code's really complex. So for this, to not complicate things, I'm gonna do a bitmap mapping. I might do a vector mapping in the future, but for bitmap mapping, you'll want one slide called map, another slide called text. That's literally it. If you want country balls, like on the map, country balls. If you don't like country balls and you just want to put text, country names. But I'm gonna do country balls because I like country balls. So for map, you want a map preset. For this, I'm not gonna go over complicated, and I'm gonna do just North America. You can find maps off the internet and do all that sort of stuff. Doesn't matter if you have a vector map or a bitmap map. Both of them suck if you're putting them from scratch. So what you want to do is get your vector map or bitmap map and set the layer to vector. Doesn't matter if you're doing bitmap mapping, you always want to set it to vector first. And then what you want to do is trace over each border. It's going to take a long time, it's going to take hours, but that's the only way to get a bitmap map. So if you want a vector map, just download a vector off Wikipedia. And for the bitmap, I'm not going to do all that, but once you're finished, once you have all of that, I'm just going to bring this back. Set the opacity to 0, make sure there's no opacity, it's just the borders. Convert to bitmap. Now here's the fun trick that took me so long to learn, and it was pissed me off when I realized it was this easy. Black. Set your fill to black. Click this to fill it. Undo. Duplicate. Delete. Fill. Undo. Duplicate. Delete. You can see it getting thicker and more opaque. So you want to repeat this until all the borders are black. It took me so long to realize this, and it pissed me off so much. It's literally this easy. I also forgot to mention that you want to, for simplicity, keep them as just one, like the costume name as 1, 2, 3, 4. The costume is like the slide. So when you change the costume, you're changing the slide. So once I have this, there are a few ways to do it. You can color the map however you want. Usually I like to color neutral nations green, like this kind of lime greenish. I like to keep NATO as navy blue, like a lot of people. So NATO is blue. I keep the CSTO, or the Shanghai Cooperation Organization, depending on how I'm feeling, as yellow. I don't know the members. And then if I have ASEAN, I keep them as, like purple. And if I have the Arab League, I keep them as a darker green. Not this green, darker. Make sure it's darker and recognizably darker. And then, yeah, a lot of that stuff. And then once you have the map finished, I'm not going to make a world map. I'm just going to do like North America or Asia, I guess. This is from Tenebre Orbis, one of my previous series. I have in North America. So this isn't an exact map, obviously. But this is eventually what it looks something like. You want to fill in the oceans. Make sure all the lakes are also properly filled in. For text, this is a bit trickier. You'll want to copy this. Make sure this is in bitmap, by the way. After you're finished, make it bitmap. And make all the borders, stuff like that. For text, you want to put this in. And design your text box. So for now, I'm going to keep it simple. Gray. You don't want your text box to be in a vector, by the way. Gray. And then you want your text. I like to choose serif because all the other fonts suck. So gray, and then white text, country, title, and then you want to add like a lot of these in case the country has a long name. Like not this much, obviously. But you'll want to make sure you always have space for every country's name, no matter how long the name is. So like this, and then country capital. Capital is always smaller. Country title should be the biggest text on the page. Country capital. So once you have the capital, you'll want the text also, which is what the country is saying. Can be the same size, can be bigger, can be smaller, doesn't really matter. Text, text. You'll want four rows of text, like this, so that it's like one big chunk, and they can extend this way. If you want the year, put it over here or something. If you want the ideology, just put it here. You can design it however you want. This is just like an example. So, if you want a flag, just put it somewhere. If you want a country ball, just put it somewhere. Usually this is the design I like going with. If you watched my videos before, you'll probably recognize it. So something like this, country capital, text, country ball. It's in a lot of my videos. Was that the father one? Should be here. As you can see, like, I moved this to the other side. And I'm pretty sure in the Thalassocrats it's also like this. Yeah, as you can see, exactly the same, except I also added the ideologies. And in Tenebrae Orbis, it's also like this. So that's something I used a lot. But in Submerged, you can go off. You don't have to do it in the bottom. You can do it in the right, the top right. And it's not just me that doesn't always do it like this. IP mapping, my friend. His is actually on the left. So that's like a unique feature of his videos. They're really good, by the way. So once you have this done, name this one, duplicate it, and delete this except for the background. Always have the background. And just for simplicity, I'm going to say the US talks first. By the way, I am going to do the country balls. I'm going to go to that. So you'll want to set this to United States. If you're doing official names, I'll do America. So you have to make sure that it fits. United States of America. Otherwise, United States or just America. Washington, D.C. You do not want to have any misinformation, or else people are going to wreck you in the comments. Sometimes. Blah, blah, blah. I'm not gonna do that. This is formal video. So then, I typically like huge borders. You can change this, blah blah blah, all that sort of stuff. I forgot to mention, this is a Scratch tutorial, so it doesn't really fit with other things unless you just apply the same concepts. So, you want to research flags and alliances and like politics in general, because you don't want to accidentally have the USA and Mexico go to war over Texas, because that already happened before, and that's never going to happen again. And now for the country balls, I'm going to copy this and paste it. This is where your knowledge of geography comes in. I know that this is Canada. This is Canada. Canada. This is America. This is Mexico. This is the Caribbean. This is Barcelona. These two aren't real countries, by the way. I just made them up. This, I think, would be Scandinavia in this series. Morocco or Spain. France, the UK, blah, blah, blah. So what you want to do is actually, if you want all the country balls to have the same ratio of size to thickness, then you'll do this step. Otherwise, just make them do the step, but make it in here and just don't change anything. So this is the country ball template. It's in all caps so that I know it does not show up in the video. First, I'm going to start with Canada. You want it to be in vector, and you'll want to look for a Canada circle flag. I don't have it here, so I'm going to search up Canada circle flag. And tools, color, transparent. You don't want stuff like this with its own border and like fancy that blah blah blah. No, you want simple Canada flag. So just put that in. Copy, paste. And then here's the hard part. Fill, none, outline, whatever you want it to be, 15. Then you'll have to make a circle around this flag. Make sure there are no gaps. You can see there are gaps. So I'm going to close it off just a little bit. Make sure everything is centered. As you can see, no gap, so I'm fine. I'm going to increase this to whatever value I want, setting it to 25. Then I'm going to make the eyes. The eyes can be whatever value you want. I highly suggest they're smaller or less thick than the border. So I'm going to set them to 15. If you want the easy way, start with a circle and just like make it really small. And this is how to do the expressions, by the way. So sad, just do something like this. Happy, do something like this. You don't have to memorize these, by the way. And then I'm just gonna do happy. You want to get the right size that you like. And it doesn't really matter what size you do of eyes. Like, as you can see, there are these eyes. And then since I entered IP, I have like very similar eyes for mine. And however, since like Ermine and I started very differently, these eyes are very different. So as you can see, they're a lot less thick. They're a lot smaller. And there's no right or wrong. It's just whatever you like. So once I'm finished with this country ball, duplicate Canada bitmap, convert to bitmap, copy, paste it in. And then boom, you have a country ball on the map. And then you repeat it for every single other country. You thought making the map was hard. This is what takes the big chunk of time. So once you're finished with that, you delete this. I'm not going to make every single country. I'm too lazy. So United States, I go back to this and I check everything. Is everything fine? Is it all working? As you can see, you cannot see Canada here. That means the layers are wrong or it's not set to show. So make sure it's set to show and make sure it's at the front. And make sure this is 0, 0. This doesn't have to be 0, 0, so it's going to be hidden. So if you have a plot already thought out, then you can just start like making stuff up. Who talks here? Who talks here? Who talks here? So United States talks first, and then let's say just Mexico. Mexico says something. Then Canada says something. And then like I know I said not to do this, but just for fun, make sure everything's colored, by the way. I'm just doing this because I'm lazy. Just for fun, I'm gonna make the USA and Mexico go to war. So the attacking nation is dark red. Always dark red. I'm not saying anything political here. I'm just doing an example. Mexico could be attacking. So the defending nation is blue. Make sure it's a different blue from NATO if you have NATO colored or other nations. So here's where it gets complex. You can really do whatever you want here. So usually in wars, the attacking nation gets the first pushes because they're attacking, they're confident, you know, and their push is usually shown in light red or pink. Don't do a lot of pixels because you'll want a lot of frames so that the war actually lasts long instead of like 2 seconds. So that's the first slide. Make sure the red is invading blue instead of red invading itself. Then on the second slide, I set it to normal red. And I go back. I drop this. and then a second push. So we have the pushes, the occupied territory, and the homeland territory. And then, yeah, you just mostly do that. A lot of people usually put white small dots for like cities, and then I don't know the Mexican cities, and larger dots for like major cities. I know Mexicali's here, and like Merida and like Cancun. And then there's a star in the center for the capital, Mexico City, somewhere around here. Ignore my horrible Mexican geography. And ignore my horrible stars. I'm too lazy to make a good looking star, so that's what you have to deal with. And then, yeah, you just basically animate it. Make sure the pushes are not too big. There's like a good example of like a video. It's called I do not want to type this out. Dumb no word in mapping. It's a really good video, despite the title, on what you should not do in mapping. And to summarize it all in a comment I made on that video, whatever you see Gailala doing, don't do it. So, if Mexico surrenders, for example, everything goes white. You don't have to do that. You can just make it like everything goes pink. But here we go. Mexico loses. And you can just do whatever you want here. It doesn't really matter. Mapping it's a form of art. It's not like subjective. Did I really just say that? It's not like there's no correct way to do things. There's no wrong way to do things unless you're Gailala, because then you're doing it wrong. But other than that, you can really do whatever you want. You don't have to listen to this tutorial. Just do things the way you want. Anyways, here are some cool tips and tricks for your mapping videos. As you can see, I have this bar at the top and some things here. But if you actually use Scratch, and it's like your first time using Scratch, you'll notice a lot of this isn't actually in Scratch. The debugger is not in Scratch. No record button, no debugged button. This isn't a thing, this isn't a thing, this isn't a thing, blah, blah, blah. And that's because I have an extension. It's called Scratch add-ons. So you turn a lot of things on. Don't turn everything on, because some things can be annoying. But Scratch add-ons, a great extension. You can literally record things. You can't do this in normal Scratch. You can record things. Anyways, I set this as high as I can, because you don't know how long your recording is going to last. Once you finish your video, by the way. You start, play. Once you click spacebar, it's going to be the next costume, aka next slide. And then it's going to save to your downloads. You can just upload it. And if you want to add music, just find copyright-free music. I'm not sure how to do that. I usually use my own music. And then you put it into sounds here. Usually I prefer to do this on the backdrop so that everything's not cluttered. Upload sound, blah blah blah. And then you have a song. And then when green flag clicked, play sound until done. Wait 1 second. You can set this however long you want. That's the break between songs. And just copy this for the amount of songs you have. And that's mostly it for this video. If you don't like this format of songs, just drag your finished video into iMovie and then add songs there, because you have more control over when songs start, when songs end. And I really don't like using iMovie. I'm not good with it. So that's why I don't use iMovie for this. I usually just use Scratch. And that's it. Thanks for watching.